Hello and welcome to the Awesome 180 channel. I'm Ashton, doctor, your habit coach, and today I want to have a very intimate discussion with you because 2020 has come and 2020 has gone. It's the last month of 2020 that is there. And right in the beginning, I've been telling people that there is so much to learn from just what happened during this period of time, because it has been a complete disaster in certain ways and it's been completely eye-opening in others. So I wanted to tell you my 5 top learnings from this whole 2020 pandemic, disaster, staying at home. Where to even begin, right? If you like content like this, don't forget to hit subscribe and like the video at the end of this if you do like the video. So let's start off with the first one. What is the first thing that I learned? The best laid plans can go poof just like that. All right, so the best laid plans can suddenly just disappear. And we had this because we had all of 2020 chalked out, planned out. I was supposed to do 7 workshops in 7 different countries. We had stuff in America, Canada, Russia, Australia planned, Germany. We were going all over the place and suddenly 0. So what do? Panic? Of course we panic. Panic is important. But you suddenly realize that there is always a way to change. And the faster you are changing and pivoting and being nimble at these things, it makes a difference. However, the big learning was that don't just rest on your plans. We can have the best plans in the world, but unless they actually fructify, it means nothing. So the first one is anytime things can go from 100% to 0 very quickly, and be aware of that, be accepting of that. Leading off from point 1, point 2, the biggest learning was that opportunities can come up anywhere and you have to be really nimble. So the first one was beware that opportunities will disappear, but new opportunities will pop up and you have to be open-minded to face them, to pick them up and to learn from them. So just because these 7 workshops failed all across the world, what we didn't realize was that there was an opportunity that opened up of doing online workshops. And we ended up doing workshops for Google, for the YPO, which is Young Presidents Organization. We did one for Herbalife. We've done workshops where there are 500, 600 people. Now, in any of those workshops that I would have done abroad, there wouldn't have been 500 people per workshop. So the opportunity suddenly changed. The mindset had to change quickly. Also, all the content that we had to create had to change because now I couldn't interact with people. You've seen how hard it is to do anything on Zoom. You can't see people face to face. So you have to be nimble. You have to learn to quickly change your direction. And the more hung up you are on what you had planned, the less you can do this. So don't be stuck. Don't be married to your plans forever. Know that they will change and be very quick at making those changes. The third thing I learned was when everything was happening in the world and people were saying, oh my God, businesses are going to suffer. This entire year has been a loss. There's a difference between a notional loss and a real loss. A notional loss is a loss that you had planned and didn't go according to plan, so you made a loss. And then there is a real loss where you had to pay salaries, you had to pay rent, etc. So there was an actual drain on the system. Many people were upset about a notional loss. That means they never had the money, they just had a plan. And now they believe that because of the pandemic and the way the world is, that plan is not going to happen, so hence they made a loss. You see, the only real profit that you can make, the only real thing that you can hold on to is something that you've done, something that you've achieved. So don't just think about your plan as something that's already a tick mark. No, it's just a fuzzy outline. You have to convert a plan into action, execute it, and then whatever comes out from it are your rewards. This time has been the best time to start new businesses, new opportunities. Did you know 60% of the top companies in the world were created during recessions? Why is this? Because they were forced to think differently, react fast, that the big companies and the giants of those days could not because they were suffering. They were suffering inertia. They were suffering lethargy in changing. So it's very important to realize that this is an opportunity, especially if 2021 turns out to be like 2020. Please make the most of it. We have grown dramatically in certain parts. You've seen us grow so much in this last 7 months on Awesome 180, on Instagram, on all these places. As a habit coach, we've been growing. Why? Because we weren't stuck to the old way of thinking. The old way of thinking was one, now we quickly move to something else. So join me in this growth because it's absolutely fantastic. The fourth thing this pandemic has taught me is to appreciate all the small things. You know, we had such a different approach to life earlier. We wanted more, we wanted more, we wanted more. And then suddenly in those first 2-3 months of the pandemic, when everyone was stuck at home, when Amazon wasn't delivering parcels, we suddenly realized that we could get by with such little stuff. It's insane, but over these last 7 months, we've hardly eaten out anywhere. Everything was made at home. How much have we missed out? Yes, we missed out a lot. We missed out on company. We missed out on all those things. But when it comes to the materialistic part, there is a lot that we can live without. And I think it's important for us to recognize this because we're forever complaining about, not having enough money, too many expenses and all of that. And it's important for us to realize that if we need to grow, we need to save. And if we can live without so much, why not continue doing that? And this is something that it has taught me. I'm definitely going to be putting a big tick mark on this. A frugal lifestyle from now on is definitely something that I am completely vibing with. And those are the habits that, in my mindset has already changed the way that I'm going to be approaching money. So that is a big, big, big win for me. And the fifth thing that I've learned, which I think is a superhero skill, is the habit of feeling comfortable anywhere, doing anything. Imagine if in the middle of a pandemic, you could feel, all right, no problem, I can handle this. If you were suddenly thrown out of your house and you had to live in another city, no problem, I can handle this. There were so many of us who had to learn new skills during this time, right? We've never cooked in our life, suddenly we had to cook. We've never cleaned the house in our life, suddenly we had to clean the house. We've never done laundry. Oh my God, how are we going to do all of this? For me, I had to learn how to cut my own hair. Yep. Not bad, right? I just did it this morning. So you realize that you have to learn new skills and you have to roll with the punches. Something happens, no problem. I'm comfortable. I can do this. And that, I think, is a big, big, big superpower. It's a fantastic habit to have. No matter where you are, can you be comfortable with yourself? Can you be comfortable in your own skin and survive? If not survive, even thrive. So these are my 5 big learnings from 2020. Now, obviously, there are tons of others regarding friendships, regarding family, regarding my own emotions, regarding mental states. But I want to talk about those later on because those are going to keep coming up. These are 5 things that I feel that you can take into 2021. If 2021 is just as disastrous as this, or if at least the first 6 months are like this, you know now what you can do. Learn from this past that we've gone through. Don't see it as something that's going to go away, but see it as a teacher. If you see it as something that was troubling you, it's always going to be a pain. If you see it as something that's going to teach you, well, you might be grateful to it. So remember, these are fantastic habits to learn. And that's, after all, what we do here. I'm Ashton Doctor, your habit coach. And remember, these awesome lives that we want to create, these awesome lives, they start with just awesome habits.